Ladies, I need y'all to understand something about men that most women either overlook or completely misunderstand. See, when a woman tells a man, I love you, she thinks she's opening the door to a deeper connection. She thinks she's giving him a piece of her heart, and she is, but sometimes the timing or the delivery just don't hit the way she expects. That's because men don't receive love the same way women do. You might think saying those 3 little words will make him melt. But what if I told you those 3 little words have become so overused, so routine, that they don't even scratch the surface of what truly reaches a man's heart? It's not that we don't want to hear I love you. We do. But it's more about what's behind those words than the words themselves. Because let's be real, how many times has a man heard I love you from someone who didn't really know him, didn't really support him, didn't really trust him? So over time, those words can lose their power. But when you say something to a man that speaks to his spirit, that uplifts him, that makes him feel needed and respected, oh, baby, you've just changed the whole game. Say this instead, I feel safe with you. Do you know what that does to a man? That taps into his deepest role, the one he was born to play, protector. Every man, deep down, wants to know he makes a woman feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. When you say, you make me feel like I can finally breathe, or when I'm with you, I don't have to carry everything by myself, that touches him in a way that I love you never could, because now he knows he's doing something right. Now he feels like a man. You're telling him he matters, that he's not just there, he's needed and he's valuable. Men are doers. We show our love by doing, fixing things, providing, protecting, showing up. So when a woman affirms that effort, when she notices it and says, I admire the way you always take care of things, or I respect how hard you work, it hits us in the core. It's not even about flattery. It's about being seen, understood, and appreciated. That's the kind of thing that sticks with us. That's what makes a man think about you all day long. That's what makes him want to step up even more. You want to know why some women can't keep a man even after saying, I love you every day? It's because those words on their own don't hold weight if they aren't backed by emotional intelligence and connection. A man won't go crazy just because you said something romantic. He goes crazy when you make him feel irreplaceable. When you say you're the only person who calms me down when I'm overwhelmed, or you understand me in ways no one else does, now you're talking to his soul. And when you speak to a man's soul, he starts rearranging his life for you. He starts planning with you. He starts protecting that bond. See, men are not always verbal about their emotions, but we are deeply emotional. We just don't express it the same way women do. You might think a guy is cold or detached, but really, he's just trying to figure out if this thing is real. If he feels like your I love you is just something you say out of habit, or because you're trying to move the relationship faster, he might pull back. But if you take a moment, look him in the eye, and tell him something specific that he does for you, something that makes your life better, he'll carry those words with him for life. It's rare for a man to feel emotionally safe, even rarer for him to feel like a hero. You don't need to say, I love you every day to make a man fall for you. You need to show him through your words and actions that he matters. Not just in your life, but in your peace, in your progress, in your joy. Say, I don't feel like I'm fighting alone anymore, or you remind me of what I deserve. Those words are powerful. Those words pull a man closer because now he sees himself in your journey. He doesn't just feel loved, he feels essential. That's what most women miss. They think love is shown in gifts or gestures or constant validation, and those things are nice. But to make a man go crazy for you, to really have him wanting to give you the world, You got to speak to what makes him feel needed, respected, and deeply valued. It's in those honest moments when you acknowledge what he brings to your life, not just emotionally, but mentally, spiritually, that he begins to see you as the one. So don't rush to say, I love you just because it feels like the next step. Say something deeper, something stronger, something that lets him know you don't just love him, you see him. And when a man feels seen, that's when the magic happens. That's when his whole energy shifts. He won't just fall in love. He'll fight for it. He'll protect it. He'll cherish it. Because now he knows it's real. And that kind of love, that's the kind that lasts. That's the kind that turns a good man into your forever man. Let me break something down for you because a lot of women get this part wrong and it's not your fault. You were taught that love has to be spoken a certain way, that the most powerful thing you can say to a man is, I love you. Now, don't get me wrong, that phrase has meaning, but in a man's world, those words can feel generic if they aren't backed by something real. You say, I love you to a man too early or too often, and it loses power, not because he doesn't care, but because he's not wired like you. What you need to understand is that for a man, the real impact comes from how a woman makes him feel, not just what she says. Do you ever tell a man, I love you, and he just says thank you or nods his head? That's not because he's heartless. It's because you're speaking to his ears when you should be speaking to his soul. Men go crazy not for words, but for connection, for admiration, for loyalty. A man wants to feel like he is irreplaceable. And when you say something that shows you see his effort, his value, his strength, that's when you touch the part of him no one else can reach. That's when you become unforgettable. So instead of saying, I love you, try saying, I feel safest when I'm with you. Let that sink in. You're not just saying you care, you're telling him he gives you peace. You're saying, when I'm with you, I don't have to carry everything alone. That means more to a man than any flower, any gift, or any three-word phrase. Because now he's hearing, I see you, I trust you, I depend on you. And when a man hears that, he doesn't want to let you go. He starts thinking of you differently. You're not just his girl, you're his woman, his peace, his home. Men are taught to perform. We're raised to win, to fix, to provide. We get rewarded for doing. So when a woman sees what we do and affirms it, we feel seen in a way that no one else can offer. You want a man to go crazy for you? Tell him, I admire the way you never give up. Or say, I love how you make me feel safe just by being in the room. You say that, and now you've activated his desire to protect you, to be your man, to lead. We don't always say how we feel, but we always remember how a woman made us feel. And when a man finds a woman who doesn't pressure him to express himself the way she does, but instead makes him feel respected and valued, that's the woman who gets all of him. See, a lot of women want to be loved, but they forget that men want to be needed. We want to feel like you couldn't do this without us, not in a weak way, but in a purposeful way. And when a woman looks at us with those eyes that say, you make me feel like I'm protected from the world, it does something to our spirit. That's why you don't always need to say, I love you. That phrase is everywhere, movies, songs, social media. But you want to stand out, say what no one else has. Say what touches his manhood, his identity. Tell him you make me feel like I finally exhaled after holding my breath for years. Say, you're the one I trust when everything feels like it's falling apart. That is deep, that hits. That speaks to who he is, not just what he does. Let me tell you something. Men remember the women who see them. Not just the guy with the job or the guy who looks good in a suit. We remember the woman who recognized the boy behind the man, the one who saw our fears, our hopes, and our battles, and never judged us for it. When you become that kind of woman, he's not just crazy for you, he's loyal to you. He's addicted to your presence. You're no longer someone he dates. You become someone he envisions building life with. And the truth is, men aren't hard to please. We want peace. We want loyalty. We want to know we're appreciated. So when a woman stops chasing romantic cliches and starts speaking real, we hear it. It wakes us up. It makes us pay attention. You don't have to say, I love you every day to be loved back. But when you say, I respect you, I appreciate you, or I trust your leadership, now you're talking to a man's core. That's when you get the version of him that's willing to commit, protect, and provide like never before. And I'm not saying never say, I love you. I'm saying don't make that the only tool you use. Love has many languages. And men listen more closely when it sounds like support, admiration, and faith in who we are. You ever want to watch a man fall harder for you every single day? Speak to the parts of him that no one else sees. Honor the weight he carries. Acknowledge the effort he makes. Be the voice that builds him up when the world tries to break him down. That's the love that makes a man go crazy. That's the love that lasts. There's a moment in every woman's life when she feels like it's time to say those three little words, I love you. Maybe it's after a great date. Maybe it's during a quiet night in. Or maybe it's just because your heart is full and you want to express it. But let me put you up on game. Sometimes saying, I love you too soon or too often can actually push a man away instead of pulling him in. That's because love to a man isn't just words. It's action. It's timing. It's how you speak directly to his spirit without even saying, I love you at all. Men are built differently. We don't always process emotions the same way women do. A woman hears, I love you, and her heart opens. It's sweet. It's safe. It's comforting. But a man, we hear it and start asking questions in our head. Do you really mean it? Is this just something you say in the moment? What does she want from me now? Because so many of us have heard, I love you, from women who didn't respect us, didn't trust us, didn't even really know us. So the words alone, they're not enough. You want to make a man go crazy? Don't just tell him you love him. Tell him something that hits where it counts. Say, I feel protected when I'm with you. You want to get deep into a man's mind, tell him you make me feel safe. Because when you say that, you're feeding the part of him that wants to provide, that wants to be your peace, that wants to be the man in your life. You're not just expressing emotion. You're confirming his role. That's what hits harder than I love you. You can be riding in the car with him, and instead of saying I love you, you say I feel calm around you. Or, I've never trusted anyone like I trust you. Those phrases make a man feel powerful, capable, irreplaceable. You're letting him know that his presence alone changes your state of being. Now that's impact. That's what gets in his head and stays there. And men crave appreciation. We don't always say it, but we want to be recognized for what we do. If your man is showing up for you, texting you good morning, fixing things, helping you out, giving you his time, don't just say, I love you. Say, I see everything you do, and I'm so grateful for you. That level of recognition, that makes a man feel like he matters. That makes him want to do even more for you. He's not just being loved, he's being valued. And for a man, that's everything. We've all heard people say, I love you and not mean it. We've all said it at the wrong time to the wrong person. So a man can become numb to the phrase. But what he won't forget is the woman who looked him in the eye and said, I respect the man you are. Or I admire your strength and how you carry yourself. That woman gets remembered. That woman becomes his standard. Sometimes it's the small things that speak the loudest. You holding his hand in public. You listening to him without judging. You telling him, I feel like I can be myself with you. These things don't sound as poetic as I love you, but to a man who spent his life being told to be tough, not to cry, and never show weakness, they hit home. They create a bond, they build trust, and when a man trusts you, that's when you get all of him. Not just the version he shows the world. You get the late night thoughts, you get the quiet dreams, you get the side of him that's scared but trying anyway. That's the part of a man that only the right woman will ever see. And she unlocks it not by saying, I love you, but by showing him through words and actions that she gets him, that she stands by him, that she sees his effort even when he's not perfect. Men aren't always expressive, but we are deeply emotional. We might not say everything, but we feel everything. And when a woman figures out how to speak to our soul, not just our ears, we don't forget her. We don't let her go. We move differently for her because she gave us something no one else did. Not just love, but belief. Not just affection, but admiration. So don't rush to say, I love you. Say the things that make him feel loved without needing to hear those 3 words. Say the things that speak to his strength, his effort, his heart. When you do that, you're not just telling him you care. You're showing him why he should care back. And that's how a man goes crazy for you. A lot of women think that saying, I love you is the most powerful thing they can say to a man. But let me tell you something from a man's perspective. It's not. Not always. In fact, sometimes I love you is the last thing a man needs to hear, not because it's wrong, but because it's too easy. Everybody says it. Women say it when they feel butterflies, when they're overwhelmed, when they just want to hear it back. But here's the real truth. Those words only go deep when they're backed by something real, something that hits his core. And most women miss that. Most women don't realize that a man's heart opens in a different way. Men fall in love through respect, admiration, loyalty, and a sense of purpose. So when you think about telling a man, I love you, what you should really be thinking is, how can I speak to his soul in a way that no other woman has? A man doesn't go crazy for words, he goes crazy for meaning. He goes crazy for a woman who sees him, not just the version of him that everyone else sees, the version that gets tired, the one that's unsure, the one who carries the weight of expectations every single day and still shows up. You say, I love you, that's sweet, but you really want to break through? Tell him, I trust you. Tell him, you make me feel secure in a way no one else ever has. Say, you give me peace. That's how you make a man obsessed with you. Not by throwing the word love around like it's enough, but by attaching your heart to his strength, by letting him know that who he is makes your world calmer, more stable, more protected. Because here's the truth, a man is constantly battling silently. His role in the world, his place in the relationship, his ability to lead and provide, all of that is pressure. So when a woman comes into his life and doesn't add pressure, but eases it, doesn't question him, but affirms him, doesn't challenge his worth, but recognizes it, that woman stands out from every other woman he's ever known. She's rare. She becomes unforgiving. Say to a man, I feel so at peace when I'm with you. That's going to do more to him than I love you ever could, because now he's not just hearing something, he's feeling something. He's realizing that his presence has power. He's understanding that you don't just love him, you value him. And for a man, that kind of emotional recognition, that's what we starve for. You could be sitting with him on the couch, no makeup on, hair tied up, and out of nowhere, you look him in the eye and say, I respect how hard you work. That might not sound sexy, but trust me, that's the kind of thing that gets replayed in his head. That's what makes him feel appreciated. That's what separates you from the rest, because now you're loving him in his language, not just yours. Most women want to be told they're loved. They want it through words, through gestures, through reassurance. Men want that too, but it comes through something different. It comes through purpose. We want to know that we're needed, that we're useful, that our effort means something. So when you tell them I feel safe when I'm around you, what you're really saying is you are enough. And when a man feels like he's enough in your eyes, he's going to give you everything he's got. It's easy to say, I love you. It takes almost no thought. It rolls off the tongue when emotions are high. But to say something that speaks to his character, his effort, his value, that takes intention. That takes understanding. And when you do that, you're not just loving him, you're leading him to love you deeper. And this doesn't mean you can't ever say, I love you. Say it when it matters. Say it when it's backed by action. But don't make it the main way you show love. If you want to get into a man's heart, the real deep part of him, speak to what makes him feel like a man. Tell him you admire his consistency. Tell him you respect his leadership. Tell him you feel protected, at peace, and calm when he's around. That's the secret right there. That's the kind of love that sticks. That's the kind of connection that makes him never want to lose you. You want to get deeper than all the noise out here? Use the kind of words that most women don't even think to say. When he's silent and carrying the weight of the world, don't press him for answers. Instead say, you don't have to explain anything to me. I've got you. That right there, that tells a man he's safe with you even when he doesn't have the words. And when a man feels safe emotionally, he starts opening doors in his heart that were locked shut for years. It doesn't take fancy language or romantic speeches. It takes real soul-to-soul honesty. You could say, I'm proud of the way you hold it down even when things get tough, and that'll hit him harder than any love letter. Why? Because most men go through life unnoticed, carrying burdens silently, and when a woman notices, really notices, she becomes someone he holds on to tight. Men don't remember who said, I love you the fastest. They remember the woman who made them feel like they didn't have to prove themselves every day just to be enough. That's the woman who stays on his mind long after the moment is gone.